for Public Broadcasting, and the estate of Joan Fry, whose bequest serves as an enduring investment in the future of public radio, and the John B. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation at macfound.org.
From WNYC in New York, this is On the Media. Brooke Gladstone is away this week. I'm Bob Garfield. In this episode, a critical look at the assumptions undergirding our notion of justice, both on social media platforms and the criminal justice system itself. We'll address the court system first. With 2.3 million people behind bars, advocates on the right and the left have agreed that locking people up just isn't making us safer. But that raises the question, what then do we do to address criminal behavior when it appears? Some criminal justice reformers are pushing a new approach, one based not on punishment, but on truth and reconciliation. It's called restorative justice, and when done well, it can help prevent further harm.
The core drivers of violence are shame, isolation, exposure to violence, and an inability to meet one's economic needs. The four core features of prison are shame, isolation, exposure to violence, and an inability to meet one's economic needs. We've baked into our central response to violence exactly the things that generate it.
Danielle Serid is the executive director of Common Justice, an organization based in New York City that has pioneered the practice of restorative justice for violent offenders at a local level. It is a process of making amends and accepting accountability, neither of which is accomplished in courtrooms or prisons. And deterrence? Forget about deterrence.
Deterrence depends on a few things. It depends on a level of civic education. It depends on people knowing what the law is and what the consequences are for breaking that law, which is totally not present for us. It depends on consistency, meaning if I do X, Y will happen every time. That could not be less true. The biggest predictor of outcomes in the criminal justice process is sadly not your guilt or innocence, but your race. And that is not something that someone can be deterred out of being. And finally, deterrence depends on hope. It depends on the prospect that if you are law-abiding, if you keep your part of the social contract, if you do all of those things, that you will get the basic entitlements of a just society. That includes an ability to meet your basic economic needs, some basic level of safety, some decent education. And when none of those things are promised, like absent a real structural basis for hope, deterrence falls short.
Restorative justice. Tell me how it's different.
Restorative justice is a process where the people most directly impacted by a given harm come together and reach agreements about how to repair that harm as best as possible.